Oh my god, why did the Giants win these last 2 games? We need the first overall pick. We need Caleb Williams. No, actually, I'm happy the Giants won these last 2 games, and I'll enjoy as many of these victories as I can, even while knowing that this is a lost season. I'd love for the Eagles to rest their starters in the last game of the season. It's especially been enough losing to them for years. Thanks to the 49ers for absolutely whooping them, by the way. Yeah, the Giants most likely lost out on getting the first pick of the draft after winning their last 2, and the Panthers and Patriots continuing their losing ways. If the Giants win any more, obviously they'll get an even worse pick, but was it worth winning these last 2 games, and will it be worth winning any more games the rest of the season? If you ask me, of course it's worth it. Tanking guarantees absolutely nothing besides losing, so no, the Giants should not tank. This team is most likely not making the playoffs, but they should still absolutely play to win and worry about the draft later. The first round is where you make what should be the obvious pick anyways. Does anybody really say, wow, that was such a great draft pick when it's a top 5 or 10 pick? Even then, the Giants have messed up those picks like Eric Flowers in 2015, Eli Apple in 2016. So far, Evan Neal hasn't been the guy we hoped he would be to turn the offensive line around. There's no guarantee that these first round picks will pan out, but it should be where you make your obvious pick. The later rounds is where you really make your mark. You can draft Hall of Fame talent in the later rounds. Michael Strahan and Harry Carson, for example, 2 of our greatest defensive players not named Lawrence Taylor in franchise history. Or if we're looking at the elite players right now, Fred Warner was a 3rd round pick and Tyreek Hill was a 5th round pick. It's the later rounds where you really determine if a team is good at drafting or not. Outside of 2016 and last year, the Giants haven't had a winning season in the last 10 years, and has getting a top draft pick for years led to any long-term success? No. Odell Beckham Jr. and Saquon Barkley are the best first round picks the Giants have had in the last 10 years. Andrew Thomas and Kayvon Thibodeau are the best in the last 5. The 4 of them have combined for just 1 playoff win. Speaking of Odell, he was drafted 12th. It doesn't have to be a top 5 or 10 pick to get a superstar in the first round. As much as I hate to give the Cowboys any credit, they drafted CeeDee Lamb with the 17th pick and Micah Parsons with the 12th pick. I doubt the Giants will win enough games for the rest of the year to draft outside of the top 10 anyways, but I'm just saying, if they do, it's not the end of the world. Right now, they'd be drafting 6th, so boo-hoo, they're drafting 6th instead of 1st. Or how about the Carolina Panthers this year trading up to the 1st pick to get Bryce Young, and they're the worst team in the NFL right now. The number 2 pick is the one who's in the MVP conversation right now. As we know, the Bears have the Panthers pick this year, so the Panthers traded to get the number 1 pick, only to go from below average to rock bottom this year. Speaking of the Bears, since they have the Panthers pick, they've had 2 playoff appearances in the last 10 years. Where is getting all those top 10 draft picks gotten them? Has tanking worked for the Jets for all these years? Now I'll address what may be the elephant in the room, the quarterback situation. I have been a firm believer that the Giants set Daniel Jones up to fail from the very beginning of his career. I still believe so. I don't think he was given a good supporting cast to work with, but I also believe that it's gotten to his head this year. Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito have looked way more composed than Daniel Jones have, in spite of the bad supporting cast. But obviously, of course, neither Tyrod Taylor or Tommy DeVito are the answer at quarterback either. But who says you can't draft a franchise quarterback outside of the 1st round? The Seahawks did so with Russell Wilson in 2013. I hate to give the Eagles any credit too, but Jalen Hurts was drafted in the 2nd round. Or let's not forget Tom Brady was drafted in the 6th round, although we can also keep in mind that finding that franchise quarterback that late in the draft is extremely unlikely, but I guess never say never since Tom Brady did happen. Brock Purdy's looking pretty good right now as a 7th round pick though. As long as the Giants continue to have a subpar offensive line and don't have a number 1 receiver, Jalen Hyatt can be that, but he hasn't been utilized as much as he should be this year. The next quarterback, if the Giants move on from Daniel Jones, will also be set up to fail. I would love for Caleb Williams to be a Giant, being a USC fan for college football, but 1, there's no guarantee he'll succeed, although the eye test sure looks great. 2, the Giants, as of now, are not a good team no matter who's the quarterback. quarterback, and that's not to give Daniel Jones any passes. There's just no sugarcoating it. As the great Bill Parcells once said, you are what your record says you are. They won their last 2 games against 2 other really bad teams, and only to prove that they're not the worst team in the league. On the flip side, what do the Giants get from actually playing to win instead of tanking? They get taken more seriously by the rest of the league, and it makes them a much more considerable free agent destination for marquee free agents. You know, I'm a firm believer in building your team with homegrown talent, but if you bring in guys through trades or free agents, as long as it's not Kenny Golladay, I'm certainly not against that either if they can help the team win. Bobby Okereke has been a great addition to this defense, one of the bright spots on this team that the Giants brought in through free agency. We want free agents thinking, I can help the Giants with a specific need, and there is light at the end of the tunnel, even with this season going as poorly as it has. One final thing I have to say, Diggy546 touched up on this in one of his recent videos, and I completely agree with him. We should think about the players' personal needs too. Guys like Isaiah Simmons and Xavier McKinney, who are on expiring contracts. Don't you think those guys would want to get paid? They better play to win if they want to get paid, and they both increase their value against the Commanders and Patriots with their interceptions. Simmons' interception against the Commanders being what sealed the deal against them. Yes, Xavier McKinney intercepted a backup quarterback playing for a joke of a team that's no longer the well-oiled machine they were for nearly 2 decades, but that's still better for his payday than playing to lose. Or how about Tommy DeVito, who's playing for his career as a 3rd-string quarterback? So that's all for this video. A like would be much appreciated, and if you can please consider subscribing and turning on notifications, that'd be much appreciated. Welcome to the team, or if you're already subscribed, thanks for the support as always. Links to my social media are down below. Whether you agree or disagree with me, just so we're clear, you're allowed to fan however you want, and this is just my opinion. I welcome you to tell me how you feel about if the Giants should tank or not in the comments. You're unlikely to change my opinion, but you're also entitled to your opinion too. Nobody here is the fan police. At the end of the day, we all want what's best for our team in the long term. You're no less of a fan than me or anyone else if you'd still rather tank after everything I just said. Hopefully the Giants can get back to their winning ways for a whole season, and for at least 2 seasons in a row, sooner rather than later. So here's my most recent video and the video that YouTube recommends. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Go Giants. Peace.